Hello everyone. So the next topic which we will be discussing is about the circadian cycle. So what is according to you is the circadian cycle. So circadian cycle is the circadian rhythm, and it is also known as the circadian cycle. It is a normal internal mechanism that controls the sleep wake cycle and occurs 24 hours or so. So this is what is the circadian rhythm. So first we start with the introduction. So a circadian rhythm, also known as the circadian cycle, is a normal internal mechanism which controls the sleep wake cycle, and it occurs each 24 hours. So it may apply towards any process which originates inside an organism and reacts to its surroundings. So a circadian clock is responsible for these 24-hour rhythm which have been found in fungi, animals, plants and cyanobacteria. So this is about the introduction. So from where this circadian word was being derived? So this circadian word was being derived from a Latin word. So it was being derived from a Latin word circa, so which means around or roughly, and dim, which means day. So this process basically involves the diurnal rhythm that involves processes of 24-hour cycle, that is the circadian rhythm, ought not to be considered diurnal rhythms until they are established as endogenous and therefore they are not environmental. So this is about the circadian cycle. Now, while the circadian rhythms are endogenous, their external cues they are named as the zibberts, such as temperature, light, and redox cycle, adapt them to the local setting. So, a circadian rhythm sleep disorder is a term which is used in clinical setting to describe an irregular circadian rhythm throughout the humans. So, this is what is known as the circadian cycle. Now, what are the general criteria or general requirements of this circadian rhythm? So, there are basically three important criteria that are responsible for the circadian rhythm. That is endogenous free running cycle, the rhythm are hyponatic, temperature compensation is evident in the rhythm. So, there is an endogenous free running cycle in the rhythm which lasts for about how many hours it lasts for? So it lasts for about 24 hours. This lasts for about 24 hours under constant condition. For example, constant darkness. So this is an example here. So the free running era signified through the Greek letter. This was a Greek letter. It is the duration of the rhythm in a constant condition. Since criteria was created to differentiate the circadian rhythm from the basic feedback to regular external cues. So it is impossible to call a rhythm endogenous until it is being checked and continues in the absence of an external periodic input. So this is what is about the endogenous free running cycle. So the next is about the rhythms. They are uh, hypnotic. So entrainment. So entrainment, what is it? It is a method of resetting the rhythm through exposing it to external stimuli. So the Zitber or time giver seems to be the external stimulus that is being used to entrain a rhythm. So traveling through time zones demonstrates that the human biological clock's ability to adapt to local time an individual would normally experience and jet lag until their circadian clock has been synchronized with the local time. So this was about the rhythms are hypnotic. So next is about the temperature compensation is evident in the rhythms. So what is it about? That they preserve the circadian periodicity over a wide range of physiological temperatures. In other words, there are numerous organisms which reside in a wide range of temperature and thermal energy variations that can influence the kinetics among all the molecular processes within the cell. So the circadian clock of an organism would retain an approximately 24-hour periodicity amid shifting kinetics in order to ensure continuity of time, a property referred to as temperature compensation. So this rhythm is said to have been temperature compensated unless the Q10 coefficient stays about 1 as the temperature rises. So this is about the three general requirements of the circadian cycle or rhythm. Then comes the importance in case of animals. So humans, they are also considered as the animals. So animals like humans, they have circadian rhythmicity in their feeding, sleeping habits. So the core body temperature, cell regeneration, hormone development, melatonin secretion, brain wave activity, as well as other biological activities. So traveling has a have a distinct pattern. Furthermore, photoperiodism, or maybe an organism physiological response to the duration of the day or night, is critical for both the animals and plants, and the circadian system is involved in day duration calculation and perception. So there are numerous species that rely on accurate forecasting of seasonal weather pattern, food availability, and predators' behavior to ensure their survival. Now, the first comes is the effect of circadian disruption. So, in this particular case, the role of the body clocks is ensuring the correct pacing of cellular metabolic events that has been illustrated in mice through deletions or mutations of the clock genes. So, there can be a clock mutant mice which becomes hyperphagic and obese with altered glucose metabolism. So, however, this is unclear because there is a different link between human and clock gene polymorphism as well as the risk of developing metabolic syndrome. Then comes the Arctic animals. So what is it about? So researchers from the universities which are there in the Norway, they discovered that certain Arctic species have circadian cycles during the months which are frequent sunrises and sunsets. So reindeers which are at 70° north exhibited circadian cycle in the winter, autumn and spring, though not in the summer according to the report. So this was according to the report or according to the published papers from few of the scientists. Next comes is the effect of light-dark cycle. What is it about? So the light-dark cycle is related to the rhythm. Animals like humans who are held in complete darkness for long period of time, they develop a free running rhythm based on whether the day or endogenous time is longer or shorter than 24 hours. So the sleep cycle has been pushed back and forward each day. The next comes is the butterfly and moth. So, according to the Eastern North American monarch butterfly, it utilizes a time-compensated sun compass, which basically relies on the circadian clock throughout the antenna to navigate the fall migration to their overwintering grounds throughout central Mexico. So, this was being observed in the butterfly and moth. So, this is the importance of circadian cycle in case of the animals. Now, if I talk about the circadian rhythms in the plants, then what is it about? So, plant circadian rhythms, they notify each plant what season it is and what it is supposed to bloom to maximize pollinators' attraction. So, leaf movement, germination, stomatal exchange, development, photosynthetic activity, they are just a few of the behaviors that display the rhythm. Circadian cycles, they develop like a plant synchronizes its light cycle with that of its surrounding. So such rhythms, they seem to be self-sustaining and endogenously they are produced, and they stay largely stable across a wide range of the ambient temperatures. The next is about the anticipating of the extreme weather events, where the plants uh, make necessary physiological changes, giving them adaptive advantage. And the last is about the agriculture, in which a greater understanding of the plant's circadian rhythms could aid farmers stagger crop harvest to prolong the crop's availability and protect against the weather related losses also. Now, so we have discussed about the animals, we have discussed about the plants. Now, what is the importance of circadian cycle in the humans? So there is a biological clock of the human body. So when separated from the external factors, which includes the daylight and timekeeping, early studies into the circadian patterns indicated that almost all people favored a day nearer to 25 hours. And this study was being flawed by the researchers that were not shielded from the artificial light. So the scientists were aware of the phase delaying impact of indoor electric lights because the subjects weren't really exposed to the time signals of the daylight. So whenever the subject stayed up, they would switch on the sun, and then when they try to sleep, they could switch it off. So the circadian cycle is basically a biological clock in humans which was delayed by exposure to electric light throughout the evening. So according to a more rigorous study which was being published by Harvard University, the natural human rhythm is similar to 24 hours and 11 minutes, which is also near to the solar light or day. So in females in this study appeared to be awake faster than men and preferred the morning tasks more than men, despite the fact that the biological mechanism underlying such variations remain unclear. Then a few of the facts which is based on the circadian rhythm, that is, circadian rhythms are 24-hour cycle of physical, emotional, and behavioral changes that are mainly being triggered by the light and darkness in an organism's environment. So our circadian rhythms, they are regulated by our biological clocks. So internal clocks are a collection of interacting molecules which are found in cells all over the body. And all of the body's clocks are in sync thanks to the master clock in the brain. So this is what about the circadian. So these are some of the references. Thank you.